shoot arrows into the mid lane from a very unorthodox angle, and yeah, he's just all around a very solid Mirana player. He's not a Mirana player that just like kills the range creep and like AFKs, you know. Like this guy really knows what he's doing. And as a Mirana expert myself, he's one of the few Mirana players that I feel like I actually learned something from. And for me, that's kind of rare.
Okay.
Ooh.
Still pretty straightforward from both these teams, the Puck and the Spectre heroes that we've seen quite a lot so far. I'm surprised that we haven't seen a few more of these, heroes like the Phoenix and stuff like that against, Spectres. Obviously, that percent-based damage is really, really good. We've seen heroes like Undying as well, trying to be the counter towards that Spectre. Do we feel like teams are just trying to stick to their own kind of drafts here, gods, rather than try and have, counter picks when we get into these, 8th, 10th picks?
Definitely to some extent. I mean, Phoenix, as one example that you brought up, fits really well with Magma's heroes. Maybe you're a little bit unsure about picking it into a Mirana, which, is one of those heroes that can kill your Supernova very quickly. But you look at having Mars and Puck, those are perfect ultimates to play around the Supernova, as well as having Sunray against DK Spectre. That just feels really nice. So it does seem like teams are more focusing on their own picks and what works for them. I would say, just playing it safe here. We're in a game one. It's elimination. Obviously, there's only one slot in the China region, so these teams are they know they have a big uphill battle, not just this match here, but they've got to beat the likes of, Elephant, RNG, eHome later on in this qualifier. But they've got to find some good stable form, and I don't think. I think the best way to do that is going to be just going for your kind of standard picks, what you're most comfortable on, rather than try and force in some, let's counter what they're doing, and then end up on something you're not as familiar with.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's something we haven't touched on just yet, is the fact that this is an elimination series for both these teams. So the loser of this series is going to be out of the Chinese qualifiers, and the other is going to have to go all the way through the lower bracket to even have a hope at that grand final. And I guess so far as we've gotten pretty deep into this Ponlo, what do we feel like both these teams really kind of need right now? It feels like there's a lot of team fight, there's a lot of scalability from both these teams. Maybe, a little bit of extra tower pressure coming out from MagMa might be a little bit nice, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too sure about this Abaddon pick. It's a pretty simple reason, right? They picked the Abaddon to deal against the Mirana DK. But I feel like the lane is gonna be quite difficult because you don't really do anything to a DK, so the DK can just like buy damage in the lane and contest the carry's last hits. And CDC respond with a Phoenix, which is not what I expected, honestly, because I feel like they really like damage right now. Because DK as a pos 3 doesn't really provide that much damage, even as a pos 2, until like 45-50 minutes into the game. Mirana doesn't provide that much damage, and you're already countered by Abaddon, and you pick a Spectre carry, which has like no damage, and then now they pick a Phoenix, which has like very low damage in the early game. Before you max out your Sunray, you have like very little damage as well, and your Sunray is very likely gonna be cancelled by the Puck anyway. So CDC's draft is looking to be like they're not gonna be able to kill anyone as long as the Abaddon is around in the game, in the fight.
Yeah, I wonder if they have an idea of what their last pick's going to be to make up for that. Because, when you speak of damage, most of the heroes that are going to offer that kind of damage playmaking come out of the mid lane. So maybe there's some kind of explosive mid that we can kind of expect from CDEC. The Invoker getting banned out, but got to imagine that's going to be some kind of like, spirit hero or something that can at least make up for that kind of shortcoming with their draft.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen, maybe something along the lines of the Templar Assassin, but, obviously one of those ones that gets banned out quite early on here in the draft. So Conqueror is another one of those heroes that we've been seeing quite a lot coming out of this Chinese region. It feels like the Water Park is really good, and there you go, GoDz, as you did say, one of the Spirit heroes, a lot of damage. But the Ursa instant follow-up here from MagMa. So they're trying to secure themselves that safe lane a little bit more here with the Ursa, but you have to agree with you, Ponlo. It still feels like it's going to be a little bit hard against this Mirana DK, right?
This maybe works though, right? Like, sorry to interrupt. Go ahead, Ponlo.
Yeah,
Stealing
it's
your
okay.
thunder.
Nah, I'm just thinking about the lane, and I think the DK Mirana should do pretty fine against the Ursa. I feel like I do this. I'm not sure about this guy. I don't think he does this, but I'm one of the only Mirana players that I like to buy Falcon Blade against Ursa, or like against carries that like are melee carries that don't have any spells to like do damage, like a lot of damage to like go on me. I just buy Blades of Attack on Mirana and just right click them throughout the whole laning phase, and I build it into a Falcon Blade because you get the HP talent on level 10 as well. So you can tank up with the Falcon Blade and the HP talent, but I don't think any other Mirana does that. Maybe I'm bad. But yeah, I'm interested to see how the DK Mirana is gonna play against the Ursa, because if they are not aggressive enough early, the DK definitely can get pressured once the Ursa gets like maybe even the Orb of Corrosion to pressure DK in the lane.
Yeah, that's why I'm curious, because I've even seen this in NA during the DPC. We saw this Abba plus Ursa lane a couple of times, and the way they do it is they just go like run past the creep wave at level 1 and they just fight you. And Mirana doesn't have leap. With an Orb of Venom on Abaddon plus his passive with Ursa right clicks, like they can just zone you away from the lane potentially really well. But I don't know if that's how it's going to play, and that's just something I've seen a little bit of here and there.
Yeah, and that's going to be the scary thing for us to figure out. So I guess we'll start with you, Ponlo. Where are we thinking this game one's going to go?
I think MagMa have a better draft against CDEC, so I think I'm going to go with MagMa.
What about you, GoDz?
I'm going to go with... I don't know. I'm going to go with CDEC. I like it. I like what they're doing. I think it's a good Phoenix game. Nothing much to kill eggs, so I'll go with CDC.
All right, so it seems like we're pretty split here on the panel. So let's get ourselves into game number 1. So I'm going to leave it with GoDz and Ponlo for game number 1 here between MagMa and CDEC.
Alrighty. Thank you, Luke. And thank you, viewers, for tuning in nice and early here in the China time zone, Southeast Asia time zone, or if you're over here in America like me, it's nice and late at night. Wherever you are in the world, thank you for joining us here for the start of the Chinese TI10 qualifiers. Day 2 is MagMa versus CDEC, and we're going to see how things unravel here early on between these two teams. It does look like MagMa moving out very deep on this map early on, Ponlo. It feels like they have certain lanes that they're maybe looking for, or at least looking for some early aggression.
Yep, but all they have is Lion Stun. The Mars already added his second spell, so that kill was gonna be quite tough to happen.
Well, I hyped up this Abaddon with the level 1 passive. He's just already skilled shield, so clearly I have no idea what I'm talking about.
I think even if he goes for the Oof, I think it's better for him to add the shield. And they can play aggressive with the shield, with the Oof, because as long as they have the shield for the DK stun, then the Mirana can't really hit the arrow, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, but they didn't even opt for the Oof, so...
Nope. Going for a more defensive approach to this lane, perhaps it will be, yeah, Ursa down bottom. Doesn't look like any Oof queued up, but you kind of mentioned, yeah, if MagMa bottom lane, safe lane gets off to a good start, we could see that early kind of Orb slow coming out, or Orb of Corrosion, whatever it may be, from this Ursa, and they can put a lot of pressure on this DK.
Yep, or he can also just choose to farm. I think he should be bottom lane should be pretty fine for both sides. And I think the way you lose this kind of lane is if you try to be overly aggressive and you fail. That's where you start to get destroyed in the lane.
So don't force anything too much. We see level 1 Dragon Tail, Arrow, they're already getting Abaddon down kind of low. And that's perhaps the problem with Abaddon with this shield, is he can maybe help his Ursa out, but if he himself is the one getting stunned up by a DK, that could be problematic because he can't actually save himself until he gets that level 6.
Yep, but MagMa safe lane is doing something quite smart. They are preventing the arrow on the range creep, and they are stacking up the creep wave.
Yep.
So as long as the creep wave is, you are stacking up the creep wave, your opponent can't really play that aggressive on you because you have more creeps than them.
Shylock takes quite a bit of damage there, going for the range creep. Gets a Dragon Tail into Arrow as Kaz was off doing some pulling stuff, so not perhaps the start he was hoping for.
He got a half pull though, that's pretty good for MagMa.
Yep. Alright, then I'll pull the wave back as Mirana will come over, kind of look to take and contest some of these last hits. As far as some of these other lanes go, we've got a Puck versus Ember mid. I feel like this is a matchup that is kind of skill-based, or do you think it goes either way?
I personally think that it's very 5-5, but I think there are some mid players that would tell you that Ember wins.
Yeah.
I don't think there are any mid players that would say the Puck wins. Because as the Ember, you can just like buy more regen. It's quite easy, right? You just buy like Tango, you buy South, and you just use your Flame Guard to push out the wave once you're level 3.
I feel like these Ember mids also will then just constantly spam the Puck with Sleight of Fist, maybe getting even that early Blightstone to do a lot of right-click damage.
Yep.
Oh, and then
So the
we
Ursa
have our
actually...
top lane. Oh, sorry. Go on.
Nah, I was gonna say the Ursa actually already bought the wolf. So yeah, they're doing exactly
First
the
blood
same.
top.
Middle tower is under attack.
Lion just wrapped around with an Earth Spike into a Spear of Mars. So Phoenix goes down for an early first blood, no opportunity to dive away. Oh yeah, I was gonna ask, yeah, this top lane so far, Spectre not having the easiest time, like free farming by any means, but is still getting some decent CS. Is this a lane where CDC are gonna have problems securing Spectre some good farm?
Yeah, I think if MagMa want to do well in the lane, if they buy enough regen, they can definitely pressure the spec a lot. Because the spec in itself is just sort of a durable lane, but unless your pos 5 can do a lot of damage for you, which in this case the Phoenix is not gonna do much until he's level 3.
Yeah.
I think
And
the lane
Mars
favors
already-
MagMa quite a bit.
Yeah, going for first item Orb of Corrosion before any Soul Ring, before any boots. This Mars is looking to play as aggressive as possible, it seems.
Yeah, that's quite unique actually. I thought he would at least buy a bit more mana first, but he's actually just maxing out the God Tribute instead of the spear.
Feeling like there's not much that can contest him as Phoenix goes fishing for the line, doesn't land the Fire Spirits, and just level 1 Fire Spirits do not do a whole lot of damage. Also not the easiest spell to land. So they'll be nicely sidestepped by the Lion, who's trying to stop these pulls from happening and will succeed in doing so. Does get dove on. The Hex comes after the dive slow's already hit him, but the Earth Spike will allow the Lion to get back to safety. Has a salve. And he's
Ooh,
going to
he
pop
blocked the
that
camp
one.
as well.
Oh. Very well
Mien
done
Mien.
to stop the pulls.
Mian God.
What does Mien Mien translate to?
It's his ID, the pos 4 player of MagMa.
Yeah, I was just wondering. You mentioned like the CDC 4 position had his name translate to something, but Mien Mien doesn't translate.
Yeah, I don't think Mian stands for anything in particular.
That's his name. Got it. Well,
Or maybe my Mandarin is just bad, honestly. Yeah, my
I'm not one
Mandarin's not that
to
good.
comment. I will not be calling you out for that one. But I mean, you like Magma's draft overall, and so far these lanes kind of back that up. 3 lanes doing at least pretty well, or even at worst, and yeah, this top lane being won by the Mars. So it does feel like this is a good start for Magma.
Like the moment this Mars is level 6, right? I don't think this Spectre can stay here anymore. Anytime they have so many stuns.
Phoenix goes down top again. Another combo. Very straightforward stuff. Just the Earth Spike, Hex into Spear, and that Orb of Corrosion. They had the damage.
As I was saying, if the Mars is level 6, they can threaten the kill on the Spectre at any time with a Puck TP. Just because of the amount of stuns they have. It doesn't matter where the Spectre is in the lane. You have so many stuns, you can keep the guy there. The Puck can TP in. Ember cannot pressure the mid tower as well. So yeah, that's quite an important part of the early game that a lot of players miss. That ability to threaten the other lanes without actually going there. Because the Spectre is just gonna go and hit a small camp or something because it's afraid.
And not a hero that farms the jungle particularly well if you send her back there early. Not like a TB or something where you've got the illusion. So it's something that could do some potential damage. But for now, Spectre is still getting at least okay-ish farm up top. It's not great. There's a 1,000 net worth difference between this Spectre and Mars, which is pretty substantial. And Once is, yeah, having a rough time. And this Phoenix, yeah, can't help. You kind of mentioned it. Anytime the Lion's here or whatever, it feels like it's a free kill on the Phoenix.
Yep. I think once at this point he has better odds of winning this game by praying to the Gaben of Perfect World for a cheap vest and going to the jungle. 7 minutes.
Dream Spectre item.
7 minutes, go farm the small camp, and the first creep drops a cheap vest.
Yeah.
Okay, we can play Dora now.
Yeah, not just getting it, but getting it right away, so you can just ditch this lane. But for now, at least Lion was hovering around mid, trying to secure those 6-minute power runes and whatnot. It was Ember who ended up getting an Arcane rune. But Lion is going to make his way back to this top lane now with the Tranquil Boots already up. Gets the Earth Spike into the Hex. The Spear will follow this one up, and if this latches, it could be another kill on the Phoenix. Oh boy.
Top lane for MagMa is pretty good. I noticed something weird. If you click on the Ember, he has a fluffy head.
Whoa.
What does this build into? Maybe I didn't update my Dora patch. Maybe I need to restart my Dora. What does this build into that's good on Ember?
It builds into Orb of Corrosion? That's all I got for you.
Do you buy this instead of the Lightstone first against the Puck?
I don't believe so. I'm as perplexed by you, because it's not a hero that you're tanky. You've got Flame Guard maxed out. He makes a rotation towards bottom. He wants to come on the Ursa, but Ursa's actually level 6 here, so maybe not an easy kill for them to get. The DK's trying to bait this one as Ursa forces pop the Enrage now, but gets another clap to get a little bit further away. And now with the Enrage up, he didn't actually get stunned for very long. He's got another shield. He's being backed up by the Abaddon. Kaz doing what he can, and with 2 leak charges left, Mirana should be okay. They get out of there, and that's an unsuccessful rotation for the little fluffy hat Ember. Maybe just wants to look cool.
And now the Lion steals the rune as well, so this Ember is gonna be quite sad. But yeah, the lane was actually very 50-50 between the Puck and the Ember before the rotations were made. They were literally the same net worth at around 7.5 minutes.
Yeah. Well, pass, and yeah, it ends up going 50-50. Puck stealing the neutral camp there, and yeah, just feel like sometimes these Ember get more point in the side of fist with that Blightstone and just use that to pressure the Puck. But we saw Blood play this very conservatively with this Flame Guard fluffy hat build.
Yep, maybe it's the pressure of being in an elimination game, right? For TI.
The good news is he's probably not going to die, but at some point your job this game is not to get as tanky as possible in Ember, I feel like.
Yep, for sure. Your DK and your Spectre are the ones that want to be tanking up. You want to do damage as Ember.
Spectre surely should be okay. Doesn't have a Spectral Dagger though, so Mace may just be a kill. Lion comes up with an Earth Spike, and that was just a spear into some slows, and Lion with the Tranquil Boots early on able to catch up. Oh boy, MagMa just rushing whole lanes.
Watching this TZY player play reminds me of Death actually. Like, this guy seems really solid in the lane. Every game I watch him play. And he knows how to itemize to pressure his lane. I don't think many Mars players would just straight up buy an Orb of Corrosion even when they have like 10% mana and not buy like Mango, Zado. He doesn't buy Bottle. He just buys this Orb of Corrosion. He just hits the Spectre throughout the whole laning phase. And if you look at the net worth, he's 5,000 gold. Spectre is 2.8.
Oh my gosh.
It's actually quite insane.
Yeah, that is... Ooh. And where is that Chip Vest? Once is praying. He's praying again. I don't even know if a Chip Vest will be enough for him. All they've got so far is the Keen Optic. They need to hit some neutrals. Ember, get in there. Somebody hit some newts.
The Phoenix is clearing the small camp. It's like the Spectre. So, hey, Phoenix, you're useless. Go ahead, help me hit the small camp. Make it lower.
Phoenix is like, yeah, I'll get it low for you, Spectre, and then you get the gold. All, 19, 20 gold per last hit here.
No icon, man. So sad.
Ooh. Yep. That's why, a lot of the meta is around making these stacks and having either a mid or a carry that can quickly clear them. You want those neutral items. Mirana gets leashed up by the coil, doesn't want to break it, and easy pickup for MagMa. And MagMa just absolutely crushing this one. Perhaps showing their there is a bit of a skill disparity between these two teams. It feels like, draft-wise, but more than anything, play and just team synergy-wise, MagMa just looking way ahead of CDEC.
Whoa! He did that thing!
Yeah.
He dived out of the thing.
Alright.
Out of the arena.
Makes it out.
That is not easy to do. So what you have to do as a Phoenix is you have to take the damage from the arena and then immediately press it so that you go out during that invulnerability time. And usually it's very hard, which is why TZY even went for the arena, because most of the time the Phoenix can't do that.
Yeah. That's really cool to know. I didn't actually know that mechanic. Yep. So Roshan claim, and that's an 11-minute Roshan, which by itself, it's not like they're going to be able to do a whole lot with this Aegis. I think the scary thing is that means Roshan number 2 with the Cheese plus Shard is going to be coming up around that 20-minute mark, which is where I feel MagMa are going to be ready to kind of win this game. Yep.
I mean, gods. This Ursa. Look at what he got on his neutral item. Possess Mask. Look at the Spectre. What he got? He had Arcane Ring and now he sent it back to base.
Oh no. What's he got? He's got something coming out, right? He's got the... No, the Chip Vest is on the Radiant. Oh. He's got an Iron Tree. Rotation with the finger. They're going to blow up the Phoenix now. I saw a Chip Vest and for a moment got excited, but it's on the wrong side, I believe.
I'm sure without this Possess Mask, this Ursa cannot do this Roche at this time. It's actually such a big deal for him.
The Abaddon was helping him out with the shields and whatnot, but yeah, the mask makes a world of difference. Perhaps the Aegis helping him out, but they're not going to chase. Maybe knowing he has that Aegis, and CDC will back off. Still looking for their first kill. Picking this DK Mirana and not feeling like doing a whole lot just yet, but there is a Blink Dagger coming out on DK, so that could change things. Arena down bottom. This is not a hero you want to see falling, and luckily Mars cannot get the solo kill. If that Mars solo kills the Spectre, this game is feeling all but lost at that point.
Yep, a very nice level 3 Sunray from Phoenix.
Can they kill this one?
Oh,
Oh, nice arrow to perhaps turn this one around. The mana drain is there. Should still be okay. Has a phase shift. Maybe not. The remnants come flying in. Puck gets off the jump, but it's not going to be enough as he phase shifts away. As Ursa shows up now, we'll finish off Blood. Spectre Haunts actually comes into this one. Uh-oh, needs to get himself back to the high ground. Will succeed in doing so. They lose the line as well. The Mirana finds the pickoff.
YDS of the Mirana, man. Making the face.
Yeah. Oh, Mars is showing up. That's perhaps the big playmaker. And Shylock with an Aegis gets to go charging in and throw away his life for this one if he wants to. And he's still being shielded up, being kept alive. Mars waiting for his spells to come back up. And he's going to Blink Dagger, so they may go looking for more here. But have to respect the fact that Ember is respawning in a couple of seconds. So they'll back off. CDC, their first little bit, you know, it's like signs of life from them. It wasn't like convincing, the 2 for 3 trade, but it was at least something.
Yep, they had to use the Haunt and the DK form though, so they're gonna lose this mid tower pretty easily. Right now, like, they don't really have that many things to protect the egg. It's just an arrow, DK stun, Ember, Slide of Chains. Like, I'm pretty sure this Ursa is gonna be able to clear the egg, unless he places it on the high ground, so anytime CDC want to fight, they should try to fight towards the high ground. That's what the Phoenix should be telling his team. His egg is gonna get killed by this Ursa so quickly because the Ursa also has the Abaddon to cover for the stuns.
Yeah, you can't just rely on stunning him up unless you somehow really execute it perfectly and, you know, one hero stuns Ursa and someone else deals with the Abaddon. That in itself very tricky to do is, Spectre in trouble once again, getting caught by this Mars Arena, but this time there's backup, so they've got the damage they need. Agent coming in, CDC, they want to turn this one around. The Sunray is there, Ursa getting low, gets off the enrage zone with the Abaddon helping him out. They get the egg out. Can they kill this one? It's on the low ground, which is perhaps perfect because Shylock was trapped on the high ground. Now that the chase is on, they want Shylock with a remnant forward. They're going to get it. The spear back comes too late, and they've taken out the Ursa. Possibly Abaddon is next, so it's going to be 2 kills going CDC's way. The team fight is working out well for them. The puck not there for this one. And CDC take advantage of having a numbers advantage.
Yep, a little bit too deep, but there was something interesting that happened. Because the Spectre was Arena Spear, even though he was in Moonlight Shadow, he actually gives True Sight, right? The Spear on the Arena gives True Sight on the target. So
yeah.
the Moonlight Shadow didn't manage to save it in time. They had no detection. The Abaddon, they had no detection at that point in time. So yeah, cool little mechanic that actually, or a sad little mechanic that caused the Spectre to die.
Depends who, who you're cheering for, I guess. But I feel sad mechanic because this Spectre's having a rough game, so I'm going to go with sad mechanic. Blood misses the coil. Nice job by the Ember to dodge it, but unfortunately he's just dodging into a Mars Blink Spear. And without any fire remnants left, he will get brought down. He used all those remnants in the last fight, which was well worth it, but plays a bit too deep on the map now.
Yeah, but it can't be helped, right? Like, look at your heroes. If the Ember is not the one farming in the bottom side of the map, the other 2 cores are gonna be so sad. He's trying to give his cores his other cores a safer farm because of how their hero works. He's trying to take the hard farm, and yeah, the opponent just has things to deal with it. They have Coil, they have Lion, they have Blink on Mars. They have a lot of solutions to this Ember right now.
Oh, it's
quite a rough game for him.
I mean, during the draft, I was like, okay, they need some hero with damage, like, you know, a spirit type hero, but you're picking this into all kinds of stuns. And we're going to see some of them, the Blink Lion with the Earth Spike. They go on the Spectre, the fall from the Earth, and he gets arrowed! Oh! The shield was too far away. He gets blown up before he can enrage. He didn't see the arrow coming in, so 2 kills make it maybe 3 in response as Abaddon gets chased down as well. CDEC, once again, they lose their Spectre, but once again, things go awfully well for them.
Yep, I think this Abaddon might regret his skill build. He maxed out the Mist Coil instead of the shield. So his shield is actually on a 10-second cooldown instead of supposed 6. I feel like given how the last 2 fights panned out, I think maybe this Abaddon needs to like buy a Tranquil Boots and look to max out his shield ASAP so that his Ursa stops dying in the fights. Because this Ursa should not be dying at this point of the game. For sure.
Oh, well. We'll see immediate smoke from MagMa. I think they probably feel like these fights, the way they're going, it's, you know, not quite according to plan. They've got these Blink Daggers to initiate, but they're just slightly mis-executing. And they're looking to continue making a go on the enemy side of the map. Down the mid lane, they smoke, headed towards those Ancients. They're going to run into this Mirana. Oh, no, they're going to head back towards mid. They see bigger.
No, not Spectre, guys.
Fish to fry. Yeah, this poor Spectre. Oh, no. The spear follow-up is there. The puck gets caught by a Yule's arrow, but this time the Abaddon is there, ready with the shield, and the puck says, I ain't having any of that, Mirana. Drops the Dream Coil just to make sure they kill the Mirana. And this time around, MagMa ready with the shield, and oh man, I feel so bad for this Spectre. Such a rough game.
You know, that fight could have potentially been really good for CDC because the Ember actually finished the BKB during that fight, but he was just like 5 seconds too late. Like he couldn't get it in time. Just 5 seconds and the Ember would have connected much sooner, and he has a 9-second BKB in this fight. And I think CDC definitely could have fought that, especially under the tier 2 tower. They could press the 4 and they'll have the tier 2 split tower damage thingy, you know, that OP shit.
The multi-shot or split shot.
Yep.
I don't even know what the name is for it. I'm not sure it has a name. But yeah, not quite what CDC were hoping for, but they may look to now fight with that BKB. The Spectre will have Haunt on reviving, and you know, Echo Saber plus Yasha. Pupil's Gift, that's a pretty good Spectre item, so they've made up for the lack of Chip Vest now with some extra survivability. And to the mid lane we go. Blink Dragon's Help is there. Counterplay from the Ursa, he goes jumping in, but there's no Abaddon shield to help him out, and the nice Yule Scepter on the Abaddon, stopping some of those saves from coming into play, but the Ursa's just jumped in and brought down the DK. Now the Arena comes in as a Phoenix set on the backline, just going to get easily dealt with thanks to the Ursa. Ember's BKB is now worn off, so he's going to be a little bit careful at how he takes this fight. The puck coil locking him in place for a couple more seconds, gets silenced up as it wears off. Perfect timing from Dust. Gets the silence as the Dream Coil expires, and they take out 4 in response to losing their Lion, who did buy back.
Yep, Lion was like the best target for them to get the jump on, but conceptually speaking, it's really bad for CDEC to initiate. If you remember the past 2 fights where CDEC actually won the fight, it was because MagMa are the one initiating into them. Because their heroes just operate better when initiated on their Phoenix, their Spectre, even the Ember with BKB. Like, you want to use the BKB very effectively. You don't want to just pop it the moment you jump on the Ember at a tier, on a Lion at a tier 1 tower. You just run out of gas so quickly in the fight. And you just have not much damage. Like I spoke about it during the draft, right? CDC's draft really lack damage. If they're the ones initiating the fight, all they can do is kill one guy, and I think all of them are just gonna die. So
that's kind of what ended up happening there. So 20 minutes in, that's Roche number 2, which means Ursa gets a free Aghanim shard, so a free 1400 bonus net worth for him, plus the Aegis, and they've got a cheese as well on the Mars. So very tanky this Mars already, and now with a BKB Blink, is going to be probably just somebody you don't want to go on if you're CDEC.
Can't win a war without money.
yep, this Ursa is
X mid, and there's a counterplay. DK was ready for it, perhaps for fate. Phoenix is still alive, caught on the Mars Arena though. He gets helped out by the 1, charges in the Glimmer, but he's got no Supernova to turn this one around. The puck coil coming out on the DK, who does not have a BKB yet. The leash is going to be broken, it looks like, as DK goes down. If Phoenix had a Supernova there, that could have been good for CDEC, I feel like, because the Phoenix survived the initial onslaught.
yep, his egg was on 20 seconds. Little unfortunate.
Mirana trying to run. Gets the Yules. There is a TP. Mirana going for the Bounty Runes. TP out. Have they got the damage? No.
But that's pretty okay though. So you lose a Phoenix, you lose a +5, and you lose a DK. But at least your Ember and your Spectre are farming during this Aegis time, and you don't feel choked out. Like the bottom and the top wave are pretty pushed out for CDC. So there is good news for them right now.
It feels like often the
this game
story.
as much as possible.
Yeah, often the story with these Spectre games is that the lane, anytime teams see Spectre, they're pressuring her lane, making sure she has a rough start, and you're just playing catch up in the jungle. Do they have, I mean, it's an Ursa. This is not perhaps a carry that's going to match up well against the Spectre in the late game, or do they have Spectre answers, do you feel?
I think Ursa is fine against Spectre in the late game, especially with a net worth lead. Because I mean, Spectre is just a really tanky guy, right? And the dispersion doesn't work that well against the Ursa because the Ursa is like constantly enraged and whatnot. And the Ursa gets a lot of lifesteal back as well. Oh, actually he took away the Possessed Mask already, so he doesn't have lifesteal right now. But I imagine he will get a Satanic at one point, and he will have that. So it's not a bad carry matchup, I think. It's not bad for Ursa.
Or he just gets the Paladin Sword. Yeah, that's the other one.
Yep.
Great game.
Scheme.
Here we go, smoke up. Ursa leading the charge, as you mentioned, yeah, often going to have that enrage. The Earthshock going to give him a little mini enrage every time he uses it. As it doesn't look like they're going to catch anyone.
Oh.
He was guessing. Thought someone might be hiding there.
Yep, CDEC are not giving up yet. They are splitting up the map pretty effectively. They're making MagMa chase them around the map with the Aegis.
Almost a Manta style Inspector, so heading towards that late game Spectre, but yeah, you kind of mentioned that the Ursa is got a farm advantage. It's like a full big item ahead with a 5k gold difference between Ursa and Spectre. That in itself poses a pretty big problem. And yeah, the Satanic is indeed queued up, so a way to kind of shrug off some of that dispersion damage in these longer, more drawn out fights.
Yep, the DK is finishing up his BKB. Mirana has an eel. Phoenix has a Glimmer Cape. Oh, they're going on the puck. Go ahead.
Puck gets caught by the stun. The arrow landed. Oh, he's still alive for now. He gets the orb up with the phase shift, and instead it's going to be MagMa on the Lion, perhaps going down the DK with the BKB. Doesn't have the Dragon form, but he just chases down with the big old sword. Chops her to pieces. Mirana out of leap charges. That spells trouble for CDEC as the chase is now on. TZ gets a spear, catches the DK onto a tree here, and once in the Spectre in some trouble as well. There's the arena. They're going to drop a supernova during this. Have they got the right clicks to kill it? They're trying to go for it. The DK's so low, they're not sure who to kill, and the Phoenix, his egg ends up popping. The Ursa wasn't there to help bring it down. But now Phoenix in trouble. Once this Ursa, who's got an Aegis, the silence coming out onto the Phoenix now. He's in full retreat mode, but Emperor with the BKB in the middle of everyone. They're all so low. He gets the kills. Gets a double kill on the Mars and Abaddon. Once more, once Shylock, who no longer has an enrage. Have they got the damage? This one, Dusko's charging in. Puck, he's crazy, but the Glimmer Cape blocking some of that magic damage. As Mirana does end up dying to the Puck, and oh, somehow both Ursa and Puck get away. Those were the kills Ember really needed.
Wow.
Crazy fight.
Yeah, what a team fight. Nice buyback coming up from Mirana. That egg, man! That egg! They couldn't hit the egg! they were deciding between killing the Spectre and the DK and the egg, and they're like, which one, guys? Which one?
Yeah, it's like too many fights, you know?
They're like doing the map in their head. I mean, if we kill the 2 cores, then the egg doesn't matter, right? So we should kill the 2 cores. Then they're hitting the cores. Guys, the cores are not dying yet. Should we hit the egg?
Definitely, you can see the the kid in the candy store where it's like there's too many things they want, and they just they can't fit everything in their hands. But
too juicy. Everything's too juicy.
It ended up almost screwing them over because yeah, that egg popped, and unfortunately for Ember, he just didn't quite have enough damage. And I think some of his spells, he was just out of mana as well, where he couldn't lock down the Puck or chase the Ursa with some fire remnants because both Puck and Ursa were so low at the end.
Yep. I mean, the fight started with a arrow on the Puck at the middle lane, right? At the tier 1 tower when the Puck was TPing in. An insane arrow by YDS. But I think they could have, maybe the Spectre could have haunted straight away because all they needed was like 2 hits actually. And they would have killed the Puck straight off the bat. But the Puck managed to survive on like 2 hits and Dust popped the Essence Ring. And yeah, he played out the rest of the fight like perfectly. Like the Puck was like on 10% HP the entire fight, but at the end of the day, he still didn't die. He played really well with the Essence Ring in that fight.
He was the player we kind of hyped up yesterday in their loss to Elephant, where even though they got kind of stomped, Dust still looked very sound on his mid lane, and we're seeing it a bit here. 5-1 and 9 on his Puck. Just a little bit careful. There's a DK nearby. Fishing for a Blink Dragon Tail, but I don't think they've got the damage even if he does get the stun. Maybe thinking of Spectre Haunt, but...
Yep, the Spectre actually has the Manta already, so with the Echo Saber. So the Spectre has quite a bit of solo kill damage.
Mirana, trouble. Moonlight Shadow with the Eel Scepter, leap to the low ground. We'll be back to safety, but that's all 3 leap charges used. Up
DK,
all come
DK,
back.
stay calm.
Oh, okay, they set things up. The arrow coming in to follow this one up, but he gets the BKB off. The Abaddon with the shield helping bail him out before the arrow could land. And with this, they're looking to turn this one around. Lion needs to be a little bit careful. Blink get constantly cancelled here as it looks like both teams in full retreat. Mirana, unfortunately, breaks the coil, leaps away. I believe, did she Yules as she broke the coil?
Yeah.
Oh, the Yule,
she
you
did.
can pop the Yules and you break the coil, right? That's how it works.
Yep,
Because
yep,
the
yep,
Yule
can use
spits
the-
you. Okay, okay.
Yep, but it's like super hard to pull off. Like this guy, YDS.
That was cool.
Oh, joke, man. This guy, so good.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
But yeah, that was. I mean, I really don't think CDC should have initiated like that. Like they had a ward. They saw everyone. They saw that the Abaddon and the Ursa were near, and they still tried to initiate on this Mars. Like that was pretty insane, I think.
And the arrow was super far away. Like there was so much time for the Abaddon to come in for a shield. Even if the arrow
Yep.
lands, it's not like it's
Yep,
gonna
for
matter
sure.
either.
And the Mars has a BKB as well, right? So if you don't kill him straight up, he's just gonna BKB and ulti and turn the fight. And yeah, I don't think CDC should. I mean, I feel like the fights for both teams are pretty clear, like how they need to happen right now. CDC need the DK and the Spectre to get initiated on, and they need to counter initiate and drag out the Ursa's ulti and the Abaddon's ulti and just drag out the fight basically with the Ember and use buybacks. And what MagMa wanna do is ideally they wanna just kill this Phoenix first. Because
Why
this
do you
egg,
think
although it's
Go on, sorry.
like although this egg is countered by the Ursa, it's still a level 2 egg, and if he places it around a high ground, the Ursa is gonna have trouble hitting the egg.
Yeah. Why do you think CDC are the ones who keep kind of trying to start these engagements? Is that just a bit of inexperience, pressure, or do you think they have some kind of different idea?
Yeah, for sure. I think for some more inexperienced players, they sort of struggle in the tough games to paint a picture of how the fight needs to look, and it's a very team-based thing, right? Like you need to your DK and your Spectre needs to be the ones like really understanding and saying, guys, the only time I want to fight, let them jump on me, then we can fight. Let them jump on me. If your DK or your Spectre are not playing like that, they're not talking like that, then it's very hard for the rest of the team to tell them to do it. You know, it's very hard for you to tell your DK that, hey, walk in front, go tank, then we can fight. Because the guy is just gonna walk up to high ground and feed, and it's not gonna be a good fight anyway. Because the guy himself doesn't see the picture of the fight.
Well, CDC see a picture of a fight around the Roshan pit. It's Roche number 3. They smoke up and head that direction as TZ finds the Phoenix, tries to dive out, doesn't succeed in doing so, and he dies before he can get the egg off. Has going to buy back the play around the DK popping the BKB
the
just
Ember.
defensively. Yep, Ember's going to be careful. The Spear follows this up, but the Ember's still okay. Goes looking to jump his way in. Has the Fire Remnants with an Aghanim Scepter. They lose the Mirana, though, and I think that for CDC may just spell retreat. The DK already having committed the BKB. They're just going to back off. They were smoking to contest a possible Roshan. They'd scanned Roche, saw that Radiant was in the area, and unfortunately for them, they don't have any good way to scout out the pit and know that MagMa were not in Roche. They were waiting for them on the high ground.
Yep, perfect heroes target selection by MagMa. They went on the Phoenix first, and that just makes the fight impossible for CDC to take. As long as this Phoenix dies first, well, or you force him to egg in front of the Ursa, then the fight is just gonna be super easy for MagMa. But yeah, MagMa is just using like this is not like this didn't just happen out of nowhere. They are using the Roche as an advantage to draw the enemy in because they know that CDC have to check. They have no A blast, they have no sunstrike, they have no rocket flare. They have to check with like an arrow or Phoenix Spirit or something, right? So the moment the Roche could be up, the minimum Roche type hits, MagMa are in a position to punish.
This time they are in Roche, and here comes CDC. Are they going to be here in time? Ursa just kills this so damn fast. It looks like they have to go now. The arrow comes flying in. Oh, it catches Roche. 5 minutes in. They look for the seal. They're not going to get it. It's Shylock who gets himself the Aegis. Spectre trying to horn and steal what he can. Gets absolutely nothing out of this one. The egg in the pit. Is it going to pop? It's going to be close. Shylock was used up, but he came down just in time to finish off the egg. Gets the last hit. Lion gets chased down by the Ember Spirit. But that's looking like all she wrote as MagMa cleaning up. The DK does TP out in front of 3 heroes. Nothing to cancel it. And it looks like MagMa will not be able to get the full cleanup here with DK and Ember escaping, but they do walk away with Aegis, as well as, I'm not sure where the cheese and other stuff ended up, but a good fight for MagMa.
TZY on the Mars took the refresher shot and he used it in the fight, and he's the one that's holding the
Oh, he's
cheese.
got the cheese.
Yep. I mean, good fight attempt by CDC. In all honesty, they popped the egg straight away, and the DK actually blink stunned the Ursa, but the Ursa was enraged, so the Mirana leapt in. Or the Mirana leaped in, blinked in actually. Mirana has a blink, and he used the Ursa to prevent the Ursa from killing the egg. But TZY on the Mars, he was BKB in the pit the entire time, and he was the one hitting the egg actually.
Yeah.
So
Dyer's
yeah,
middle
the egg
barracks.
Using
that's not
the
that strong enough
Yules
yet.
against the Ursa, at least a nice option because it, you know, the status resist doesn't help against the Yule Scepter, but still not enough to keep that egg alive. When it's right in the middle of 3 enemy heroes, it's always going to be tricky.
Yep, Lincoln on Dust. I doubt that. Oh, he got cancelled by the Halberd.
Okay.
Arrow.
And to follow up, the double star storm, Ember comes,
Wow.
shows up, and they do get the kill. He was not ready for that halberd.
Yep, very clean coming out from CDC.
All right, nice little move from them. They catch out Dust, who's a very big prize for them. Big gold bounty. He's level 23, almost 24 puck here.
Dyer's bottom tower is under attack.
But going back to the draft, like as I was saying, I didn't really like the Phoenix pick for CDEC because they don't really have anyone to protect the egg, and they didn't really ban out the carries that can kill the egg like the Ursa. So this Phoenix egg is not something that they can really play around entirely and base their fight on. It's gonna be really like you can't win the fight in a macro sense. Like if you have something to protect the egg, right? There are a lot more conditions that you can look for in a fight. Like, oh, as long as I see 3 heroes I can egg, my X or my Magnus is RP or anything, some control is gonna be able to help me turn the fight. But yeah, the Phoenix doesn't have that luxury this game, and it's pretty hard to use the egg honestly against the Ursa.
Well, we'll see if he finds any better luck in these future fights. Blink in from Lion, gonna get the insta-hex, blow up the Mirana. They want the DK as well. He does get the BKB off after the Earth Spike, so BKB TP out. No Basher on Ursa.
Still have to shout bash though if you're in those situations.
Yeah.
Of course.
Bash, bash, bash. Oh, just got unlucky.
You have to do your part, right? I mean, if you want Gaben to do his part, you have to do your part too.
That means next time when he does have that Bash too. Or he's,
Yep.
he's praying that Ice Frog gives Ursa a Bash talent, level 20, 0.2 second, 25% Bash chance,
I want to see the Reddit thread when that happens.
Yeah. It's just a short little Bash, but it does give
No cooldown.
Yeah. Baitable. Look, I'm not a Dota 2 balancer for a reason here, Ponlo. I'm full of terrible ideas. Well,
Smoke up for CDs. Desperate.
Yep. There we go. Blink in from the Dragon Tail. They're just trying to force out the Abandoned Shield. Arrow follow-up is not going to land on anything. Ember trying to go on the backline with the BKB, finds the line, but he's got an on distance. Keep alive a little bit longer, forcing Ember to go back to the high ground with his BKB wearing off. 6-second BKB just not allowing him to really fight for long enough. Now Ember's back in, wants his line, but he gets the Hexed out. Lion gets arrowed as well. The Starstorm is there, but a 2-man core from the puck. It's going to leech onto the Ember. He's waiting for it to wear off. He gets speared out. That egg is good, but the Ember gets speared away. He is going to get chased out by the puck. The good egg, can they turn and fight? Ursa loses the Aegis. They're going to bring down the Abandon as well, so no more shields to play around, but it looks like CDC are just running out of firepower. One of the high ground goes Dust to force the Phoenix to dive away, and it looks like they should be able to clean up this top lane of Rax. Hope they need some creeps.
Yep, if only CDC have some buybacks to play with on their Spectre and Ember, maybe they could have turned that fight really well because of the egg. But yeah, unfortunate. Their buybacks are pretty far away, 500 gold, 600 gold. It's not something that they could have farmed, so.
Well, go. Puck killing Mirana down bottom. Not sure what that's all about. He thinks there's a ward. I think that was Puck just going for, what, the bounty rune maybe? And finds him free kill on Mirana. Now they're just going for the tier 4s. They're going for the GG. I mean, they've already got 2 lanes of Rax. They're going to force them around and buy back, and this is looking pretty desperate for CDC. This game pretty much out of reach at this point, unless they've got some kind of miracle up their sleeves. Fortunately for them, doesn't seem to be the case. DK getting blown up by the throne, and imagine it's just a matter of time. Potentially until GG, they're going to have 2 heroes respawning soon. The one last hurrah is coming. Ember goes fire running into the middle. Everyone do the slider fist follow-up. He wants the backlines, wants the Lion once again. The Abandon gets thrown up in the Yule Scepter as they try and bring down Lion. Mien. Can they kill him? He's still alive. This damn Lion is so hard to kill. He finally goes down to a DK attack. Can they get more? This feels like a last hurrah. They get the Abaddon as well. Both supports going down, and it seems like MagMa realizing, okay, we didn't get the throne, but they had to respect the Spectre, and Ember respawns, and they hold for now.
Yep, we spoke too soon. CDC 1 blood, Kappa.
They've already got blood.
Yep. Nice.
You're quickly, learning. You gotta have some cheesy dad jokes in your cast, so you're quickly growing as a caster.
Still too young, man. I'm only 23.
Yeah, at heart, but not in real life.
Okay.
Focus on the Dota career comes first.
The beyond. Okay.
There's a bit of a window. I mean, Abba and Lime were dead for a long time, having, I think, both used buyback in previous fights, so...
Bottom tower is under attack.
Unfortunately, CDC, despite that, there's no Roche for them to take. There's just farm on the map, and they got to push out these lanes, so they couldn't really get a whole lot more.
Yep, I mean, how does the fight need to look for CDC right now? Somehow they have to moonlight. They have to see the Abaddon on the other side of the map or something like that.
Yeah.
And they have to catch out this Puck or Lion first. That's the only way I see them fighting outside the base.
Yeah.
But the Lion has
the way they
on
made
this.
that fight work, the Mirana blinks in and just yules the Abaddon while the Ember tried to kill the Lion. So I think the idea you're kind of saying they're doing in team fights by just trying to disable and yules the Abaddon while they focus Lion or someone like a Puck.
Yep, but the success rate of that when you do it in a team fight is so much lower than if you have certain kind of information on the map. But
yeah, if you know he's just not there, that's way better.
Yeah, MagMa is definitely gonna have the edge in terms of info right now because of the 2 racks advantage. The waves are always pushing in, so CDC always have to show heroes to clear the lanes, whereas MagMa don't really have to do that. MagMa can be anywhere on the map right now, smoked up, waiting in the wig for CDC to come out.
Oh yeah, we saw last time this Roche was a bit of a trap for CDC. You don't have to necessarily be using the Roche to get the Aegis and Cheese. Sometimes they're just using it to bait a team fight, and it's not just about, we've talked about the Ursa and the Puck and what they can do. This Mars is basically 6-slotted at this point. Has a Minotaur Horn to go with a Satanic AC Deso. His damage output is actually going to be pretty damn strong in these fights.
The Spectre.
Look out. Spectre runs into this one, gets instantly hexed up. Oh boy. And got buyback. Yeah, they're looking to turn and fight this one. Ember goes on the backlines with a BKB, wants the Puck, not going to have the damage to get. Blood, he gets bashed! Oh no! He was yelling. Bash. Buyback coming in from the Ember as well. They want to take this fight. The Phoenix on the high ground. Have they got the right clicks for it? I don't think they can keep it alive. He close the Yules. It keeps it alive. They've done it. Can they turn this fight again? Nice spear from the Mars. Going to push the Phoenix away. Has he got the damage and the sustain? He's going to cheese as well. This Mars is now the big problem. Mars versus the world. They lose the Spectre a second time, and this Mars is maybe unkillable. He's already popped the cheese. He's going to Satanic in a couple of seconds. Here comes the Puck with a silence. The Slick Dagger on the Phoenix going to buy back. The Mars getting low. He needs to get that Satanic off with a nice God's Rebuke. It's going to get Kaida. Oh! He goes back to full health. And now he's looking for a spear. This Mars lights him up before this fight. TZY could be in some trouble now. Doesn't have good mana for a Dragon Tail, though. He's still getting kills. He got blood. And he's going to get more with the help of Puck. Dust is back in. Oh! TZY. Oh, and the creeps will get the throne.
What a fight. This Mars, man. It's so satisfying to see a 6-slaughter Mars play like that.
Yeah. It's funny because, right before that fight kicked off, I clicked the Mars. I'm like, oh, this Mars is farm. This is going to be a problem. And sure enough, that just happens. Late game Mars is a force to be reckoned with. Whew. Well, very, very solid game for Team MagMa. Not flawless by any means. We're going to hear some more thoughts from you, Ponlo, as well as myself, as we bring back in Fluke after a quick break, guys. So stick around. We'll have more Chinese Dota 2 action coming from the TI10 qualifier. See you there.